Hey there, guys. Welcome in. I see we got some people jumping in live on TikTok and on YouTube already. If you guys want to just verify you can hear me on YouTube, my audio was being kind of goofy. So what is up? How's it going? Thank you guys for coming in. Hope everyone's doing well. We're going to be doing a live Q&A over on YouTube. So if you guys are on TikTok and you want to ask any questions, jump on over to YouTube. We're going to get started as soon as we get a few more people over here. Hamster Nation, hello. Brittany, how's it going, Brittany? You guys can hear me? Perfect. I just wanted to make sure my audio was being weird right before I went to go get started, so I wanted to make sure that it was good to go. Dead Man said, we're here to raise money to buy Cody a real beard. You know what, Dead Man? I'm trying, man. This is the best I can do. This is the best I can do. If you guys are on TikTok right now, feel free to jump over to YouTube. We are going to do a live Q&A. Lorraine, I'm doing fantastic tonight. How are you? Brittany, I'll be in and out. I'm at work. You don't want to just sit here and watch a 1 hour live stream while you're at work? Come on, what kind of job is that even? Where they don't just let you watch YouTubers and TikTokers while you're at work. Jeez. I haven't seen you on my FYP in a while. Yeah, no one has. Don't feel bad. Cody's beard is currently stuck in Joe Dirt mode. We need to upgrade it. Hey, it's not quite that bad. You know, it's not much better, but it's not quite that bad. If you guys are over on TikTok and you want to ask any questions, jump on over to YouTube. We're going to do a Q&A over on YouTube. It's just easier for me to go through the questions all on one platform. So for everyone already over on YouTube, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Feel free to start dropping any questions as soon as you guys are ready. Sorry, guys, no gas for the next hour. The attendant is busy. I mean, come on, Brittany, priorities. They'll understand, I feel like. How have you been, bro? I've been fantastic. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. Man, TikTok. We're almost up to 100 people on TikTok. If you guys want to jump over, I am live on YouTube right now. Also, I'm getting very close to 50,000 followers on YouTube. And when we hit 50,000 followers, I'm doing a giveaway of some of my schizophrenic hippie coffee mugs and thermoses and stuff. Look at those. Aren't those awesome? But yeah, so we're getting really close. If you guys want to help me out, jump on over to YouTube. Give me a follow over there. I would greatly appreciate it. Deadman says, I'm here to provide brevity. I was like, yeah, I mean, that's someone's got to do it. I don't have good comic relief. I mean, my hallucinations laugh at me, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm funny. I've been fantastic. How have you been? Thank you for asking. I've been really good, just super busy. But yeah, if you guys have any questions over on YouTube, otherwise, if you're on TikTok, feel free to jump over. We're just filling up the chat here. Oh, messing up the TikTok live over here. I was just seeing who else was on. AJ's on. I haven't talked to AJ in a minute on TikTok. All right, starting to get some more people over to YouTube. I appreciate you guys jumping over. Deadman said, so you're saying I'm no better than a hallucination? Wow, Cody, wow. I'm not necessarily saying that, but I get why you would think that. This live is just going to be an ASMR of me drinking Mountain Dew. That's what I've decided the topic of the live is tonight. Also, TikTok, just so you guys know, I'll be live until my phone dies. This is the game we play every night when we do lives, because I can't do lives from my computer onto TikTok. Sure, I can, but I haven't been able to figure it out. And so my phone is always playing the Staying Alive game while we're live over on YouTube. You know what? I'm registering your beard with FEMA. Get out of here, dead man. What are you? You're so mean to my beard. Determined in Dreaming asked, how long did it take before you were able to be aware of your schizophrenia? It's something I've been working on. It was several years after I started medication. So like I started medication, and even after medication, I was still a little bit in denial that I had any issues, which is, I mean, really common if you're someone who struggles with delusions. So it wasn't really something that I was like even actively working on, because I didn't think that there was anything really wrong with me. But it took a couple years after I got medication, and we finally got medication to a point where it was helping with the delusions and the paranoia, before I like fully accepted my diagnosis and I was like consciously aware of the symptoms. And I definitely like knew there was something wrong with me before my diagnosis, but like I couldn't really come to terms with what it was, and I didn't really like understand what was going on. So that's part of it. Lorraine said, you need to come to Tennessee and do a speaking event so I can come and be able to finally meet you in Allison. Absolutely. The unfortunate thing is I have not had anyone in Tennessee reach out about a speaking event. So if you hear of any events, just shoot them my name, because I'll go anywhere. If someone wants me to come talk about mental illness or addiction, something like that, I'll be there. I got to have a reason to come. If you guys are over on TikTok and you want to ask any questions, jump on over to my YouTube page. It's just easier for me to follow along to one platform instead of two. Crisco asked, how long do schizophrenia episodes last? Can you go in and out of psychosis? So yeah, you absolutely can like go in and out of psychosis. As for how long the symptoms last, I would say it differs, not only person to person, but like it's changed for me over time with medication. And it's also something that is like never consistent, even like while I'm doing well with medication. Like sometimes I'll have hallucinations um, a lot throughout a week if I'm really stressed out and have a lot of like other things going on in my life. And then there's times where I'll have hallucinations for like a full, or I'll have like no hallucinations for a full week. And so even the duration of those can really change. So sometimes I'll have like hallucinations for like 10, 15 minutes, not even realize that that's what was happening until I like play back my camera and realize that I was like talking to someone who wasn't there. Or I can have hallucinations for an entire day. So it's kind of person to person, but also it just kind of depends on what's going on in a person's life with schizophrenia, the level of medication they're at. Before I was medicated, I was constantly hallucinating, so it's very different. Someone in TikTok asked, "Mr. Beast?" No, I'm not Mr. Beast. I get that a lot, and I don't know why. Mr. Beast just doesn't look quite like a felon like I do. I feel like. I think it's just because of our like half beards. Like we can't grow our beards all the way in, so I think that's why people mistake me for or tell me that I look kind of like Mr. Beast. I think that's all it is. Schizophrenic hippie, or I said schizophrenic hippie. I did that last night too. Schizophrenic NYC is in the TikTok chat. Shout out to Schizophrenic NYC. Do you have FMLA or an understanding employer? Right now, I have a very understanding employer. I in previous jobs, I've gotten FMLA to just to be sure that like I don't get let go for having to leave for schizophrenia symptoms or anything like that. But in previous jobs, that's what I thought. Yeah, Dead Man thinks it's the beard too. That's why people think I look like Mr. Beast. It's got to be. He's hallucinating himself now. That would be a first. That would be a first. Oh no, there's a cap on here. Who did this to me? Michelle asked, any advice on how I can help a family member who deals with psychosis and won't see a doctor? It's really tough. It's one of the most common questions I get, and the answer isn't always what people want to hear. Because my answer is, unfortunately, you kind of have to wait until that person's ready to accept help. So, as a person who's both schizophrenic and has had a passive addiction, my advice is always the same. You can be there for that person, you can be supportive for that person, but they're not going to be able to get the proper help they need until they accept that they need that help. So, best thing you can do is just be there for them until they're ready to reach out and ask for the help. Because when they do, I mean, if you're there for them, you let them know that, you let them know you're concerned. When they do finally need help, if you weren't overbearing and you didn't like try to at any point like force them into getting treatment or anything like that, they'll come to you. That's what I did. I went straight to the people in my life who had advised that maybe something was wrong and showed concern early on. But it took a while. I went like 2 years undiagnosed because I was too afraid to get I was too afraid to try medication. I was too afraid to get a diagnosis. I didn't want like the label of schizophrenia, stuff like that. So it's tough because I wish there was like a better way, but just based on my own lived experience, like that's what I know worked for me, and I've seen work for other people as well. Someone asked what FMLA is. FMLA is Family Medical Leave Act. Basically, it's intended to be unpaid time off that can be used for the illness or sickness of family members, but you can also get it for your own physical illnesses or your own disabilities as well. Basically, it doesn't mean you can leave work and still get paid for it. It means that if you have to take time off of work to either help a family member, or like in my case, I used it for schizophrenia, that I can't be fired for using that time. It's an amount of time decided by a collaboration of your HR team and a doctor or psychiatrist. depending on what it is that you're going in for. I don't know all the rules on it. I should. I went to school for HR and I did a whole class on like HR law, but FMLA is it's not like super easy to get either. It has to be approved by the right people, and I know not everyone's not everyone is lucky enough as me to be able to get it when I needed it, and so it is kind of a pain to get. And it's not something that like I said, it's unpaid, but it just basically ensures that you can't be fired for using time for the specific medical reason. Ace Wolfie, thank you so much, Ace. Everyone, shout out to Ace Wolfie for always sitting on TikTok and trying to help me get people over to YouTube. Danielle, okay, Danielle is the one person I just saw. She came into my live. Danielle, you are the one person from like the OG group that I need you to send me your address, because I finally got, where are they? I finally got the stickers. So I need you to send me your address so I can send you some stickers, okay? I'm finally going to get all those out to you. I got a couple other things I'm going to throw in for all you guys, but I'm sending those out hopefully this week. I'm waiting for one more thing to come from Vistaprint so I can send you guys a couple things. I appreciate you guys being so patient and waiting for me to get to it all. So I'll send you some goodies, and I'll have Allison sign everything for you guys, because let's be honest, that's who we're here for. Let's see. Dead Man said, I'm still waiting for you to come on my podcast. We will can you ever do like a Thursday or Friday? I know I think that was the problem I was having, was the recording times weren't working for me. Thursdays and Fridays are like my best time. So let me know if you can do a Thursday or Friday, man, because I want to come on. I don't want you to think I'm avoiding you. It's just it's tough when I'm like still like working and doing all the speaking and stuff on top of that. Do you guys get any sick paid days in America? I don't think we have any like that are required by an employer. I think that they can provide them if they want. Let me just double check that, because as far as I know, yeah, there are no federal legal requirements for paid sick leave. So employers can provide paid sick leave, but in America, we don't have any that are like federally required. They've tried a few times. It's been shot down every single time. I can do Friday, but I feel like you're avoiding me. I don't know. I want to look at my calendar before I say it for sure, but if you're free this Friday, let's talk about doing it this Friday, because I know for a fact I don't have anything later in the afternoon on Friday. So hit me up on Insta. I'll right when I get out of here, I will double check my calendar and I will let you know for sure which times I'm available on Friday, but we could try to do it this Friday. Thank you for making videos and doing the live streams. It's so helpful for me. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you guys saying that. I've been trying to keep up with the live streams. I'm not going to be able to do it super late tonight because I'm exhausted. Me and Allison got up and we were doing we had to go to an appointment very early this morning, and we both work second shift. So when I say I had to get up at 7 a.m., that might not seem like a big deal to some people, but to a second shift person who usually works at noon every day, that is early for me. And I did not go to sleep early enough to wake up that early. Well, unless you think like 3 o'clock in the morning is early enough to go to sleep for that. What's up, Super Committee? How's it going? We got a question here from BP. Have you ever experienced sleep paralyzers with a symptom? I've not ever experienced sleep paralysis, if that's what you're asking. Um, I personally haven't experienced that before. I don't even know a lot about sleep paralysis, to be honest. So that sucks. As of last year, we legally get 5 days, and companies can have more if they feel it necessary. See, something like that. I feel like that's super fair. Sick days are just, it makes sense. Like, why do you want to force people to come into work? And 5 days, like, that's not even like, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's better than what we got here. But I'm like, in the grand scheme of a full year, that is not that much. Hopefully you don't need to even use all 5, but I'm like, that is not that much if you were to get like actually really sick or something. That could be all one sick week for you, you know? If you guys are over in TikTok and you have any questions, jump on over to YouTube. We're getting closer and closer to 50,000 followers on YouTube. So I appreciate all the support over there. Sleep paralysis is horrible. Yeah, I know some people who have experienced. I should do more research about it because people always ask me if my symptoms are anything like sleep paralysis, and because I've never experienced it, I don't really know how they compare. So, but yeah, if you guys are hanging out in TikTok, feel free to jump over to YouTube if you have any questions. They can be pertaining to schizophrenia, addiction, incarceration, any other goofy thing that you want to ask about me. Thank goodness I work from home. Allison works from home. She loves it. I don't know if Allison could go back to working working not from home. I love my wife, but I don't know if she could do it again. And it's good for her. She really seems to be happier working from home. She doesn't have to worry about like workplace drama, and her last job she had some not great coworkers. So do you know any studies on links between tinnitus and schizophrenia? I do not. I am not super familiar with that. But yeah. What? Kanea said, or is it Kenna? Kenna. What did I say? Kanea? That doesn't even make sense with the letters that are in your name. I apologize. I was wondering if you have a PO box. I'd really love to send you and Allison a snail. I make them out of clay. Oh, that's awesome. Allison would love that. We don't have a PO box right now, but if you shoot me a message on Instagram, I can give you a place where you can send them to. We're gonna get a PO box, but we're like moving from one place to a new place here soon. So like we haven't got it because I don't know which post office I'll be closest to, which one will be the most convenient for me to get to where we're currently at. So, Kaya in TikTok said, just sub to your YouTube. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. My father was schizophrenic. I learned so much from you. Thank you. That's awesome. I'm so glad. I'm glad that people who like have like either struggled with schizophrenia or like know someone who struggled with schizophrenia can like gain anything from my page. That just, it makes me feel really like, it makes me feel good about like doing this content because at least someone's benefiting from it. What are your and Allison's favorite colors? Well, my logo is kind of like has all my like blues. I just like blues. Allison likes brighter colors though. Like she likes yellows and definitely yellow. Probably yellow green would be hers if I had to guess. I'm pretty sure about the yellow. I would do yellow and green. I think she'd like that. Mel asked, your answers made me wonder, can you trigger hallucinations by reading about them? If so, I don't recommend reading about sleep paralysis. No, I'm in a pretty stable place with like medication and treatment that that I don't really have an issue with like talking about or reading about symptoms, stuff like that. I still have experienced like certain triggers that I try to avoid, but nothing like in terms of like me being able to talk about them or me being able to like learn more about them. Someone said, I guess she painted the room you're in. I don't even think this is yellow. I think this room is actually like an off white. I just have very bright lights in here when I stream. So, like, I have two bright lights in here. So, I think it makes it look more yellow in my background than it really is. Yeah, because it's like off white in here. I just have very bright lights. Your videos are actually what made me get on TikTok. That's awesome. Did you find me on YouTube then? That's super rare for someone to find. It's happened a couple times now where some people find me on YouTube and then transfer over to my TikTok. Doesn't happen a lot, but once in a while, that's what happens. What would you say to a person that equates schizophrenia to evil and demonic spirits? This is something I get all the time. I've made so many videos about it. I can't even count anymore. Basically, I just acknowledge that everyone has their own beliefs. There are people who are going to believe that's what my symptoms are. I've had people tell me that I need exorcisms, stuff like that. Basically, I just try to remind people that that's really dangerous to say to someone with schizophrenia because it can lead to delusions. Religious delusions are actually the most common type of delusions for schizophrenic people. And although it's not something that worried about even for myself, I have a lot of people with schizophrenia and psychosis that follow me on social media. And I would hate for someone who isn't as well adjusted with medication and treatment to stumble on a comment like that and have it cause any sort of distress or cause a delusion of any kind. So I mostly try to just delete those comments because I think they can be dangerous. When I do make videos regarding those comments, I try to inform them that it can be really harmful to people with schizophrenia. Danielle is alive. I know. I saw Danielle in the TikTok chat. As soon as I saw her pop in, I'm like, okay, she's the one person that I need information from to send stickers to. So, someone said, believe it or not, people who say it's demonic possession actually mean well. They're just trying to help. Well, that may be true, but it doesn't come across that way, and it can be extremely harmful. So intent isn't always going to matter if the results are something that can harm people. I understand that a lot of the people saying that don't think they're causing harm, but their intention doesn't matter if it were to cause someone harm, That's still neglect on their part. But I get what you're saying. I know not everyone who's saying is trying to be hurtful or harmful. I absolutely understand that. I left your TikTok live to find you on here. Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming over from TikTok. If you guys are on TikTok right now and you want to answer any questions, jump on over to YouTube because we are doing a live. I'm answering all the questions on my YouTube live. Someone said, what is your logo? So this is my logo. It was meant to be just kind of like, I wanted something that my exact request when I got the logo made was a brain, but like a really modern design. So this is meant to be kind of a brain. There's a dark blue through the center. That's like an S. And that's supposed to be like the S for schizophrenic hippie. And so that's like that's my logo that I've been putting on everything. I got cups and shirts and all sorts of stuff now. Kenna said, I know the internet can be really harsh. How are people treating you on TikTok lately? I think about the time people were affirming your hallucinations made my blood boil. Yeah, it really depends on the day. You know what it is too, honestly? When I have video go viral, that's when I start getting a lot of those really negative comments, a lot of hateful comments. And so right now I have a couple of videos that are still doing really well. I did that schizophrenic simulation of auditory hallucinations. That's doing really well both on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And so obviously I'm getting people who have never seen my content before, which comes with hate, negativity, and a lot of misunderstanding too. I try not to forget that. A lot of people are not trying to be hateful. They just don't understand schizophrenia and it comes across not great. Someone said, yeah, my dad hallucinates demons. Before I was diagnosed with medication, I used to hallucinate like faceless people, but also I used to hallucinate what I would call demons. It's not like when I say demons, I don't want people to picture like TV demons, like what you'd see, but like that's what I called them because that's the only thing I could compare them to. My son's new therapist told him today that she doesn't believe he has schizoaffective disorder. How do I respond to that? He's been diagnosed for years. He just turned 18 last week. If you really feel like that the therapist is incorrect, maybe seek a new professional. Um, they might just be a little concerned with the diagnosis at a younger age because schizophrenia doesn't usually develop until like 18 to 25 for men. So they might just be questioning why it was. You said they've already been diagnosed for years. They could be questioning why they were diagnosed with that at a younger age. Not that it's impossible. I don't want you to think it's impossible, but I'm not trying to claim it's not possible. It's just less likely. So maybe that's the angle they're going from. But yeah, if you think that they're gonna pursue like trying to remove the diagnosis anyway, maybe go to a different professional. My dad has schizophrenia and thinks he's possessed by demons, which is sad. That's a really common type of delusion for people with schizophrenia. All religious delusions are very, very common, unfortunately. If you don't mind me asking, do you have schizoaffective disorder or only schizophrenia? I was diagnosed originally with undifferentiated schizophrenia. So when I was diagnosed with schizophrenia, it wasn't diagnosed as a spectrum like it is now. It was diagnosed into different subtypes. So there was catatonic schizophrenia, paranoid schizophrenia, and disorganized schizophrenia. And undifferentiated schizophrenia was basically you showed aspects or symptoms of all the types, and that's what undifferentiated schizophrenia was. So it made more sense for like, especially for my diagnosis, to be a spectrum because I already was like showing symptoms from every single type. So the spectrum made more sense, and I think that's why they ended up doing like a spectrum for schizophrenia because there's a vast variety of symptoms that people can develop and whatnot. Can you please tell me how to explain to my boyfriend how to deal with someone like me who is schizophrenic? It's really tough. So like this is an ongoing conversation that like me and my wife are going on 11 years together, and we still have to have open communication about like our different illnesses and stuff we need help with. And so I feel like the best thing you can do, which is what I've tried to do with Allison, is just let her know what I think helps me the best. Because I don't find it super helpful for people to try to point out that my hallucinations aren't there. I know a lot of people with schizophrenia do. That's never been super helpful for me. I've actually found better success in people distracting me from my hallucinations. So not drawing any attention to them, changing the subject, and trying to get my attention away from them has been really, really helpful for me. And so that's kind of what I've communicated with her, and now that's what she does, and it's way easier for me to kind of get out of an episode now when she's there to help me. So and it's going to be individualistic. So even if say your boyfriend wanted to look up how do I help someone with schizophrenia, they're going to get different answers because everyone reacts differently, everyone prefers to be helped differently. So communicating that with the person, and then also making sure that you have a plan set up with your healthcare team and your significant other as well. Speaking of someone triggering you, I just muted someone on your live. Thank you, Ace. It's really okay right now because I'm not watching the TikTok live. If you guys want to come over to YouTube, jump on over. I'm answering questions over on YouTube. So, but thank you for doing that, Ace. I appreciate you. Is forgetfulness a part of schizophrenia? It can be. I've experienced this both before and after medication. I started wondering if it was a medication thing, but then I was realizing that the whole time period before medication, when I was first experiencing symptoms, I have a lot of just like time periods I don't remember, like big chunks of time that I don't remember. Even now, I find in my day-to-day life, it's very hard to remember certain things. And some of that could be antipsychotics, stuff like that, you know. You and Allison need to move to Canada. That's awesome. Yeah, I can't go to Canada though. Remember, I'm a felon. I have to deal with that first before I can go. I have a very religious family. Should I tell them I've been hearing and seeing things? I don't know what age you are, anything like that. I'm not here to give medical advice. Don't do anything that would put you in a dangerous situation, though, because there are still people out there who are very religious that believe people with schizophrenia are experiencing demons. And I know a lot of people with schizophrenia who have said they have been forced to endure like exorcisms by family members and local clergy because they were not understood for their illness. They were thought to be demons. So don't do anything that would put you in an unsafe position. But if you are experiencing those things, you should try to at least speak to a doctor and get a referral to a psychiatrist. Let's see what else we got here. Some people need to grow up. Yeah, I know. We especially when, you know, I'm getting a lot of especially when I'm getting a lot of attention on certain videos, I start getting a lot more of those hate comments and a lot of people wanting to troll my video and stuff like that. So communication is key. I'm still learning. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the important thing is like no matter what it is, um, so it's like whether it's like Allison has her own, she has ADHD, and some other stuff she's officially diagnosed with, and like so for her it's very different, you know. And a lot of our illness issues we have are complete polar opposites. So like finding ways that we can help each other, but not, you know, have issues with our own mental health or our own illnesses is kind of another challenge in itself, which is why we have to continually have communication about it. Why are you a felon? What crimes did you commit? Um, I did a whole video about it on my YouTube if you want to watch it. Basically, it's drug related from when I was struggling with. I was going through my psychotic break. I was struggling with addiction, and it was just unforeseen incident that I got involved in, and I did a whole video on it. I don't want to talk too much about it on here because then I have to. If I start telling the story, I got to tell the whole story because it's a little complicated. But yeah, I know the lives when they get really big are just nuts. The plus side of that is when the lives get that big, I can't keep up with the comments anyways, so I'm not usually seeing the ones that are really negative. They get outweighed by the good ones, I feel like. Um, Lexi asked, how do I explain to people that the voices in my head aren't inner voice and that it is a voice I don't recognize? I have a hard time explaining this because a lot of people ask me if my voices are inside my head. So I just try to like emphasize that what I'm hearing is registering to my brain as sound. It is not something I hear inside my head. If anything, I hear it, you know, out like next to me, down the hall, in my closet. Like it's voices I'm actually hearing, and it sounds like it's coming from specific locations. And so like it's very hard to explain that to someone who hasn't experienced, because a lot of people will watch like simulations I make about auditory hallucinations and be like, oh, I experienced that. I hear those types of voices in my head all the time. And I'm like, that's probably inner dialogue. That's probably, you know, intrusive thoughts. Those are not the same as auditory hallucinations, and it's difficult to try to explain that to people. Um, how would you define a psychotic break? Like, is it a specific time or can they happen multiple times? I would say they can happen multiple times. I always describe like when I first had symptoms as a psychotic break because before I was 19 or like, yeah, like 18, 19 is when I first started having symptoms. So before that, I had never had symptoms of schizophrenia. So when it happened, it's not like, oh, I just randomly developed schizophrenia. It was a full blown psychotic break. I was having, hallucinations, delusions, paranoia. I was not in any way able to critically think. I ended up flunking out of college. I ended up starting to use drugs, and so I wasn't really in control of my thoughts at that point in my life. So that was a psychotic break. But yes, I mean, you can go through several. You could it's something that I feel like I don't know if there is necessarily a medical definition for it. We can look it up quick just to see what the actual I'm just going based off of what I've always referred to my first onset symptoms as. Let's look up the actual definition here. Psychotic break occurs when a person loses touch with reality due to an incline in their mental well-being. So yeah, I think it's very reasonable to assume you could experience multiple psychotic breaks in a lifetime. I just got diagnosed with schizophrenia. Any tips or advice? I would say one, don't be afraid of the stigma surrounding medication. Medication can work wonders. It's literally got me to the point where instead of experiencing hallucinations every single day, almost constantly throughout the day, I experience hallucinations maybe once or twice a week. So I would say start there. Yes, intrusive thoughts are very different, very, very different thing to experience, and not like different, like they're less intense or like I don't ever mean that. I just mean like it's a different experience. My BF was forced to quit his job because he had a break at his workplace. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's really tough. That kind of stuff. I mean, that's why it's super important if you can get a diagnosis to be very open and honest with your employer. If you can get FMLA, that's amazing. Otherwise, you got to find an employer who's going to be understanding of that. So I would always wait. I never disclosed it in an interview, but as soon as I was hired, I would talk to the HR manager and my shift manager or hiring manager or whoever and be very honest with them about my condition and let them know what I was dealing with. That way, it wasn't like one day I just started having symptoms at work and that became an issue if I waited too long because it's hard to have that conversation after the fact. Um, kind of asked, are your hallucinations only auditory or visual? I have both auditory and visual hallucinations. I've done videos about both. I've also done like videos. I've posted videos of like me having both auditory and visual hallucinations as well. And so that's why I have to use my phone to like help identify whether or not I'm having hallucinations. Excuse me. For someone who doesn't have health insurance, how do I go about getting medication? I know I need them, but I am unable to find affordable care. If you have a doctor who will prescribe you medication, I would check out Mark Cuban's new Drug Plus website or whatever it is. Cost Drug Plus, I think it is. That's where I get my medication from now. So my doctor still has to say, yes, he needs this medication. They forward it to Cost Plus Drugs. And then medication that I used to spend $100, roughly $160 a month on. I take like 6 medications. My medication without insurance would be like $4,200. My medication with insurance, I have very good insurance. So my medication with insurance would be like $100 a month. Like 160, I think is what I was paying. $160 a month. With this website that Mark Cuban released to try to cut drug costs, I pay $44 for a 3-month supply of all of my medication. So even with insurance, a 3-month supply, what's 160 times 3? I mean, well over 400. I was paying like well over $400 a month or for 3 months, and now I'm paying $44 for all of my medication for 3 months. So, and you don't need insurance to qualify for that website. It is the same price whether or not you have insurance. If you have insurance, it could end up being like nothing. But yeah, highly recommend it. FMLA has helped me so much. Yeah, it's been a lifesaver for me. It's literally kept me from losing jobs in the past. I have some mental health issues, and since watching your channel, I've become more open to my illness. That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. I know it's really it's one of those things that's it's hard to come to terms with that kind of stuff. It was difficult for me as well. 480. Thank you, Ace Wolfie. I'm so bad at math. Yeah, it's way closer to like $500 actually. Mark Cuban, yeah, he is a millionaire, and I don't usually hype up millionaires, but the cost plus drugs thing I think is amazing. And I know he's still making money. He's been very open about that. He still makes money on it, and I'm sure he's making a lot because I mean, I will only get my medication from there now. So you love my hoodie? Thank you. Yes, I'm wearing a Avatar: The Last Airbender hoodie. The real Avatar. Not these blue people or whatever. If you don't mind me asking, what are some hallucinations you deal with? I have both auditory and visual hallucinations. They're mostly negative in terms of auditory hallucinations. My visual hallucinations tend to be just regular people, just like anyone else I would see in my day-to-day life. That's changed since I've been on medication, though. If I don't have a doctor that I go to, how do I get this website without a referral? You have to have a prescription to be able to use the website. So if you have a doctor that has diagnosed you with whatever the mental illness is you're struggling with, you gotta talk to someone who can get you some sort of prescription referral. So a doctor, go to a free clinic, something like that, where they can just write you a prescription, and then usually it'd be a problem, if you don't have insurance or whatever, but then you just have them fax it to Cost Plus Drugs. Mark Cuban is a billionaire with a B. Yeah, that's I always did I say millionaire? Yeah, I know he's a billionaire, but either way, what he's doing is good in terms of the Cost Plus Drugs website. Didn't I tell you my dog's name is Appa? Of course. I would never forget that. Did I not tell you that my horse's name is Roach? Come on, Ace. Would you recommend Cerebral? Is that the online counseling or the online? I haven't learned enough about it to be able to recommend it. Same with BetterHelp. I don't know enough about either of those to recommend or say anything negative about them either. I miss Roach so much. Oh man. Yeah, I was not a fan of. I've never. I'm not a fan. I never saw the first Avatar, and I never saw the. I'm not going to see the second one either. So don't bring Roach into this, Cody. I can't help it. Yeah, Cerebral is the online therapy. I haven't used it before. I don't know enough about it to say anything, honestly. Gotta run. All right. Thank you so much for stopping in, Danielle. But yeah, make sure you shoot me a message so I can. I'm still waiting on one more thing from Vistaprint. Hopefully, it comes this week, and I can send you guys all some stickers and stuff like that. All right. I was up super early this morning, so actually I'm probably gonna call it a night too. I appreciate everyone hanging out and chatting with me for a bit, but I want to get some sleep. I am exhausted. I gotta still set up a table over. You can't even see. I got a table I gotta set up over here, but I'm gonna call it a night and try to do this again. Probably. I mean, I'm on a roll right now. What is this, Ace? Is this 3 or 4 days in a row? I gotta ask Ace. Ace has been here every day, and I don't remember. I'm exhausted. I don't remember anything. I think we're going on 4 days. I think tomorrow would be 5 days in a row if I actually made it. I don't know where to look for Ace's response. Pretty sure. Yeah. Okay. So tomorrow would be the 5th day in a row then. So we are crushing it right now. All right. But thank you guys so much. 4 days of finger suffering. Yeah. We're doing it though. We're getting it done. But yeah, I'll head out for now. I appreciate everyone hanging out with me for a bit, chatting with me. I'm gonna go get some very well needed sleep. So yeah, everyone have a good night, and I will talk to you all very soon. All right.